For the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development, the year 2022 marked significant accomplishments, breakthroughs and shifts within the agriculture sector. Despite the numerous obstacles that have hampered the growth of the agriculture sector in the post-pandemic economy, the ministry continued to build a solid foundation focused on enhancing food security through various initiatives, partnerships and projects that cater to the evolving demands of its constituents. I am Anicia Antoine, and this is the 2022 Agriculture Year End Review.
Overcoming the complex challenges that the world faces requires transformative action, embracing the principles of sustainability and addressing the root causes of poverty and hunger to leave no one behind. With an increase in the supply chain challenges and the corresponding impact of rising prices and product unavailability, we have continued efforts to support local production and consumption in increasing the country's food and nutrition security.
Challenges faced by farmers were brought to the forefront during the Agriculture Minister Honorable Alfred Prosper's visits to agriculture regions throughout the island. Market access, cost of production, and productivity challenges remained a prevalent dilemma across the agriculture sector, particularly in light of the harsh economic climate brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Agriculture Ministry, however, remained devoted to investigating ways to assist stakeholders within the sector. Keeping true to the promise to increase the markets within the sector, banana shipments from St. Lucia infiltrated new markets in Antigua. This came as the Ministry of Agriculture refocused on securing current and prospective regional and international markets in order to ensure the success of St. Lucia's banana sector. The government of St. Lucia approved a 30% subsidy for banana farmers on inputs to maintain the production output of their farms. The agreement sealed by the Agriculture Ministry and the National Fair Trade Organization (NFTO) ensures that banana farmers have access to cheaper agricultural inputs, in particular fertilizers, which have been highlighted by farmers island-wide as a necessary point of assistance.
What we get here is a start, and I'm hoping that it is something that we could look to continue working. As it is now based on the MOU, farmers would benefit from 2 cycles of fertilizer at a reduced cost, and it would be 2 25 kg bags per acre. The discount would be 30%, and of course, equivalent of the 150 kg bag.
Non-banana farmers also received some level of reprieve on the increased cost of fertilizers thanks to the assistance of the Agriculture Ministry from the Kingdom of Morocco. This annual supply of fertilizer is made possible through the Moroccan Soil Fertility Project, a partnership between the Agriculture Ministry and the Kingdom of Morocco, which ensures that the fertilizer is specially formulated to meet local soil health needs.
The cooperation relations between Morocco and St. Lucia have experienced in recent years a significant dynamic in various areas. In this regard, I applaud the achievement in agricultural sector in St. Lucia and the fruitful results of practical cooperation between Morocco and St. Lucia. And I hope that donation will further strengthen the capacity of St. Lucia for agricultural development and benefit to farmers.
To encourage a conscious shift in behavior and attitude toward the use of more locally grown food crops, the Ministry of Agriculture over the past year has hosted 3 expositions: a banana expo, a mango festival, and a CMOS fiesta. Agricultural leaders have declared the first ever Banana Expo, Figla Sesanutut, a success as the event garnered much public support for its focus on locally grown bananas. The multifaceted event included a banana competition, live cooking demonstrations, and also saw the launching of the Ministry of Agriculture's banana recipe book.
We have to think outside the box. We have to think innovation. We have to think value added. We have to think to use what we have to achieve greater heights. So I want to thank you. I want to congratulate you. staff of the ministry.
The Mango Festival, a joint collaboration of the Ministry of Agriculture and the Taiwan Technical Mission, aimed to promote the use of local mango and featured a wide variety of mangoes, with 24 participants given a platform to promote their mango products. A component of the festival included a mango cooking competition for students enrolled in the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College's Women Empowerment Program. The CMOS Fiesta, held under the theme Leave No One Behind, Better Production, Better Nutrition and a Better Environment for All, held in honor of World Food Day, saw products from over 20 CMOS farmers, processors and schools, as well as the official launch of the Ministry of Agriculture's CMOS catalogue.
With climate change affecting the world at a fast-growing pace, we must learn to appreciate the value of what nature gives us, including the food. And we must learn to appreciate the value of turning wastage into creative business ideas. Through the festival, the hope is that mangoes and other local fruits can be used more creatively and appreciated more. And I wish to thank the Ministry of Agriculture for consistently partnering with the Taiwan Technical Mission to create programs that promote agricultural diversity and food security.
Partnership and collaboration can go a long way in creating a strong and better agriculture sector. In addition to pushing the ministry's mission of promoting food security forward, partnership and collaboration with sector agencies like the Taiwan ICDF, ICA, CARI, JEF, and so much more have provided stability within agriculture while achieving shared goals.
The 7 Crops project, since its inception, has seen an increase in the production of the selected 7 crops, the revitalization of agriculture intelligence information systems, the establishment of stable market for farmers, and the introduction of new technologies, all with the goal of lowering St. Lucia's food import bill. Phase 2 of the joint initiative by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Taiwan Technical Mission is seeing an expansion to include crops other than the initial 7 crops chosen. New varieties of eggplant have been introduced to farmers under the 7 Crops project as part of efforts to address the need for diversification in the market. The Agriculture Ministry, in a collaboration with the Taiwan Technical Mission, hosted a demonstration of the proper cultivation techniques of 8 varieties of eggplant. The 7 Crops project also introduced the Eggplant Culinary Experience, an eggplant-infused cooking showcase intended to encourage the use of eggplant, as students from the schools across St. Lucia showcased different ways in which the crop can be incorporated into daily meals.
We're seeing that the demands for eggplant is increasing. However, the consumption of it locally is still something to be worked on. What we notice is that the preparation of eggplant is not so vast by local consumers. So we want to show people that different varieties of eggplant have different characteristics. Some are softer, some are longer, and some are purple, some are darkish. So today we're just showing the farmers how easy it is to cultivate eggplant and what each of the varieties their purpose.
Through the 7 Crops project, farmers, extension officers, and students have also completed small machinery training in which they learned how to operate tillers and bankers to prepare land and beds for primary and secondary tillage for vegetable farming. The training was done in preparation for the shipment of small machinery received by the Taiwan Technical Mission as they continue to work towards adapting climate-smart agricultural technologies. A data sharing platform, DataShare, was also launched in an effort to centralize the ministry's data, allowing for real-time data requests to be fulfilled. The staff of the St. Lucia Marketing Board officially graduated from the Ministry of Agriculture-led HACCP training course, as the Agriculture Ministry continues to work towards realizing HACCP-compliant agri-food facilities on the island. This certification and training received by the staff further adds to the work being done at the Pack House to ensure that the output adheres to international health and safety standards and meets higher post-harvest processing requirements.
Food security is the most important policy in St. Lucia. Taiwan Technical Mission work with the Ministry of Agriculture and all stakeholders to enhance the efficiency of the whole food value chain, including to enhance the diversity, productivity, and the quality of crops, and the post-harvesting process, distribution, and marketing.
It is inspiring knowing our employees are better equipped to deal with food safety practices and packhouse operations. The staff of the St. Lucia Marketing Board, and I'm told staff of Extension as well, will now be better placed to effectively operate the packhouse, and thus we make further progress on the vision to become the hub for fresh agricultural produce and increase market access for our local farmers. When this institution, SLMB, was built maybe somewhat 48 to 50 years ago, it was always envisioned that farmers would sell to the marketing board. The marketing board would be the premier institution and would facilitate distribution to all other local entities, regional entities, and somebody said it. The dream is to also penetrate the international market. So that is what the establishment of this facility is about, and that is what we still want to continue working towards.
With the Sustainable Agriculture in the Caribbean SAC project being implemented in St. Lucia, the WUSC Caribbean hosted an extension training exercise to plan the way forward in promoting and implementing climate-smart activities in the agriculture industry.
I think the project is timely, especially now with what's going on the horizon with threats of food and nutrition security. So this project comes in at a time to assist our farmers build capacity, to strengthen them in terms of increasing production and productivity on their farms, to ensure that the agricultural sector is more sustainable by implementing climate-smart methods, to improve production and build the capacity to feed our people, especially in these trying times of COVID pandemic, and also with the possibility of having food shortages due to the war, which is ongoing right now.
As the Ministry of Agriculture continues to deepen ties with sector agencies, a memorandum of understanding was signed between the WUSC Caribbean's Sustainable Agriculture in the Caribbean SAC project and the enhancement of the efficiency of production, distribution, supply chains in the fruits and vegetable sector project to allow for addressing weaknesses in the sector, minimizing threats, and exploring opportunities with the aim of enhancing food security.
So it's very important for us as program managers and development practitioners not just to work in our own silos, but really to ensure that we optimize resources by leveraging the resources of our partnerships. And it's an honor for us to support the government of St. Lucia in this effort. We really appreciate those partnerships that move the sector beyond business as usual and result in the generation and application of research. And I drove past some of the farms on my way over from the airport and saw some of the innovation that's on the ground. And also the testing and adoption of climate resilience technology and innovation, and the expansion that will expand small farmer capacity, and especially for Canada, the impact that it can have on our women and youth.
One of the accomplishments coming out of the collaboration between the Agriculture Ministry and the SAC project is the training in vegetable grafting as a technique in climate-smart agriculture, integrated pest management, and plant biotic stress management. To address issues within the sector such as its legal and policy framework, disorganized market structures, and increase in food imports, the St. Lucia Marketing Board, in collaboration with WUSC Caribbean and the Taiwan Technical Mission, hosted a national consultation on food security that sought to reduce the high level of fragmentation and homogeneity in the constraint facing production and marketing within the agricultural sector. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, in collaboration with the Canaries Community Improvement Foundation, continued to build momentum around efforts to assist agriculture stakeholder communities in implementing strategies to improve livelihoods through the adoption of soil and plant health management systems on smallholder producer farms through farmer-focused, community-based education and training.
This project, as I said before, is one that is of great importance. Not only does it seek to improve and build the capacity within the community to address a problem, that the community may face in terms of the slippage and loss of soil and its impact on the marine environment, but it also provides an empowerment of community members in green businesses, in seeking to use the vetiver as a green business, establishing opportunities for using it in various different ways that vetiver offers, so that the community can also achieve some level of income from the vetiver, not just to address the environmental concern, but also the economic and the sustainable livelihoods concern.
The Ministry of Agriculture further partnered with ICA to provide drone safety training to members of the Canaries Community Improvement Foundation in preparation for the drones procured by ICA through the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund to monitor the use of vetiver as a rehabilitation tool. The Caribbean Research and Development Institute CARDI joined forces with the Agriculture Ministry in hosting a sensitization training exercise on the coconut weevil, ramping up actions to build food security on the island.
This training is important for two main reasons. One is national food security. And that's because a lot of persons depend on the coconut industry in one form or the other as a food in itself. But also the other important reason is for rural livelihoods, or allowing streams of income for the farmers and the processors. I mean, look, when you drive the highways of St. Lucia, you see so many people selling coconut water. You go to the supermarket, you see so many coconut products. In light of these livelihoods, we thought it important to work with the Ministry of Agriculture and at their request to provide this training that would help in training and identification of the pests, how to manage the pests, how to put traps for the pests, and how to control the pests. Because if this pest is not controlled, it can affect the coconut industry in St. Lucia.
So the South American palm weevil, it's an insect of interest or pest of interest to the crop protection unit, because not only does it destroy the production capacity of the coconut plant and it kills it, it's also a vector to the red ring nematode, which is it causes the red ring disease, and it's in the neighboring islands of Trinidad, Grenada, and St. Vincent, and we've been trying to keep it out of St. Lucia for the longest while. So far we've been successful, but the best way to keep the red ring disease out is to keep the South American palm weevil populations low. So this is why we're doing this proactive activity, so to speak, and we're trying to do more preventative measures instead of reacting after the fact.
As the increasing need to incorporate healthy foods into augmentation support through feeding programs for children is recognized, the relaunched school feeding program aimed to meet its project objectives of addressing several of the Sustainable Development Goals for food and nutrition security, agriculture, health, and education. As part of the Mexico-CARICOM FAO initiative, Cooperation for Climate Change Adaptation and Resilience in the Caribbean, 110 cooks attached to 67 schools on the island were trained in food safety and quality, food preparation, handling management, and the delivery of safe and nutritious lunches to school-aged children.
I wish to express that it's an honor and satisfaction for me to participate in the ceremony that marks the graduation and signing of contracts of the farmers that had been trained under the umbrella of the Resilient School Feeding Program, which is part of the Mexico-CARICOM FAO, we say it in Spanish FAO, initiative that is very simple to work and very important to work on that. It's the Cooperation for Climate Change Adaptation and Resilience in the Caribbean, which has the main objective of mitigating the economic and social impact generated by the COVID-19 pandemic in the region, and to which Mexico has dedicated more than $5.5 million US, benefiting 14 countries in the region, including the 6 Eastern Caribbean states.
Following a month-long agribusiness development training hosted by the Food and Agriculture Organization, a group of farmers have also agreed to supply local produce to the St. Lucia Marketing Board. This contractual agreement is geared toward ensuring consistency in the supply of produce to satisfy the demand from the Ministry of Education for the school feeding program.
Our understanding is that the school feeding program in St. Lucia, as elsewhere, have long been established and recognized as an important instrument in facilitating learning, especially for the poor and vulnerable children in St. Lucia. Healthy and well-nourished children learn better. So today I am extremely proud of the 40 farmers that have completed the training in food safety and quality, low agrochemical, like I mentioned, and I'm very happy about you wanting to participate in wanting to bring, again, safe food to the table.
We have to put some structure in agriculture. We cannot have the farmers, as a producer and as a marketer. The farmer has to be and continue to be a producer. And if you put structures, the farmers do not have to take a van and go and make canna. If you canna, but massy stores, 12:34 in the morning. That is the role of the marketing agency. And that is the reason why I tell you I'm elated today to see that at least one of my dreams is beginning to come true.
The livestock sector in St. Lucia is a pillar of the global food system, contributing to poverty reduction, food security, and agricultural development. The Agriculture Ministry's transformation to accompanying growth are also an opportunity to move the livestock sector towards more sustainable development.
With a goal of strengthening the livestock sector and capitalizing on opportunities for economic and rural development, the Ministry of Agriculture received consultancy services from the Caribbean Development Bank to develop a livestock master plan. The plan included the direction of policies and strategies, creating a roadmap to improve livestock production in St. Lucia. At the validation meeting, the consultants were able to present the research completed to department officials. St. Lucia's first solarized honey processing plant was officially opened as the Ministry of Agriculture strives to ensure more sustainable production and processing across the agriculture sector in order to increase St. Lucia's food security. The limelight was placed on the Horizon Brothers, a pioneering group of brothers who formally opened the plant after months of support from the Agriculture Ministry and funding investments from the Global Environment Fund Small Grants Program. The processing plant is vital in ensuring the preservation of ecosystems and is another tangible manifestation in favor of ministerial actions towards sustainable livestock farming, production, and improving food security.
There are a lot of benefits that people are becoming aware of, and there's increasing demand of honey, but we are still unable to meet those demands. There is need to expand the number of colonies, increase capacity, and organize the industry. Organization of the industry will involve standardizing and certifying the existing extraction plants for food safety and quality, and developing process flows for the extraction plants. And this is why the work of the Horizon Brothers today is so significant. They have been able to establish this small processing plant with the help of donors like Jeff, of course, the support of the Ministry of Agriculture and other agency partners like ICA, and they're striving towards eventually reaching certification, national standards, and perhaps even HACCP and other food safety standards. Because food safety and quality assurance are fundamental to expand the sector and gain consumer confidence.
We want to discover continuously ways of using honey in our food, in all kinds of different processing. Let us discover. We are going to push people to find ways to effectively use honey, both medicinally, in the gastronomic sense, and if there are opportunities for patents, we will push that as well. Another thing is, as well, we want to introduce the whole concept of epitherapy. Now you might say, what is epitherapy? We're going to build certain smaller structures within this complex where persons who are suffering from extreme stress, insomnia, I happen to belong to that club, could go and be treated with epitherapy. And it's essentially an area where you can go and spend the night.
As the increasing need for growth in the honey production sector in St. Lucia continues to be realized, the Veterinary and Livestock Services Division, in collaboration with the Global Environment Fund Southeast Coast Project this year, hosted its first ever sustainable apiculture farmer field school. During the 6-week program, 22 apiculturists received theoretical and practical training on best practices in honeybee production, as well as opportunities for ongoing mentoring as they work to create productive, efficient, and successful apiaries.
The Southeast Coast is what I call the new frontier for sustainable livelihood opportunities. And you may ask yourself, why is that so? You're all trainees from the southeast coast, from Dennery into Lavery. And if you think carefully and you look around when you're going back to your homes this afternoon, you realize that there are several very important ecosystems, terrestrial and marine, very important heritage and historical sites. There are cultural activities in your area, and they're all able to provide sustainable livelihoods. So this project is really about providing sustainable livelihoods, utilizing resources from those ecosystems.
A growing number of challenges have been identified in the fisheries sector, including habitat degradation and loss, declining fish stocks as a result of increased marine pollution and increased competition among users for limited marine space and resources. This year, the Cabinet of Ministers approved St. Lucia's National Fisheries Policy to guide the planning and development because the state of coastal ecosystem affects livelihoods in St. Lucia. We have remained focused on safeguarding St. Lucia's marine ecosystems as part of its broader efforts to ensure the efficient management of St. Lucia's natural resources.
Fishing is one of the key activities bringing substantial economic value to St. Lucia, as the sector accounts for 25% of the agricultural GDP. With fishermen facing many hazards, including the risk of becoming lost, the Department of Fisheries has introduced vessel monitoring systems to assist with search and rescue missions at sea. The system monitors fishing locations by satellite technology, automatically updates and records the journeys, and transfers information to shore stations.
The intention of that device is to help with search and rescue missions. So if, for example, your vessel is out there, either you call in and you've indicated you have a distress at sea, there's a mayday situation, or if you use your VHF radio on channel 16 and indicate there's an issue, or if you have a float plan and you have indicated to a loved one or a friend that you will be back by a certain time and they have seen hours have passed and they have not seen you, that can cause the process for us to go and find out in the system where your location is. With that information, it helps narrow down the search for the Police Marine Unit and other regional partners to find you, because it's very challenging. We have a vast amount of ocean space and it's very challenging to find one fishing vessel in that amount of space.
The Department of Fisheries, through collaboration with the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism (CRFM) and the Japan International Cooperation Agency (JICA, began undertaking a project for strengthening and sustainable use and management of coastal fisheries resources in CARICOM countries, the Coast Fish Project. Currently in its preparation phase for the pilot activities to be rolled out in each country, the Coast Fish Project focuses on establishing a framework in which local fisherfolks, their organizations, and fisheries authorities can work together to manage fishery resources around coral reefs for sustainable use. Activities targeted at regenerating coral reef habitats continue as the Department of Fisheries joined hands with the TVET unit and the VRP to build capacity for the effective management of coastal resources. The National Vocational Qualification NVQ Level 2 in coral reef gardening and restoration training was facilitated to augment the practical skills of marine users in order that their activities are conducted in a manner that preserves the integrity of coral habitats. Participants in the training learned coral gardening site selection, the establishment and management of coral bursaries and gardens, as well as first aid navigation and sanitation practices.
Forest provides us with shelter, livelihoods, water, food and fuel security, offering home to much of the world's diverse array of plants and animals, and providing essential natural resources from timber and food to medicinal plants. Initiatives to protect our forests and strengthen our water quality on the island were at the forefront of the ministry's mandate as we underwent a series of actions to aid in St. Lucia's natural resource preservation efforts.
The Department of Forestry, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, through the ACP MEA's project, continued efforts to increase climate resilience through the restoration of the riverbank along the cul-de-sac and ancillary rivers. Persons from the communities of Bexor and Ancillary and the surrounding areas were invited to meetings with the Department of Forestry officials and other field experts to express their concerns and discuss the way forward with the restoration project. Several issues were identified along the riverbanks, including erosion, deforestation, and waste disposal.
What we hope to encourage, even as we continue, into the project, is that we would have, the continued participation of the community persons, in terms of doing the rehabilitation, the planting of trees along the river banks. And we're not only looking at just forest trees, but we're also looking at a mix of doing agroforestry. Persons, private landowners, can also benefit from, that activity. So we would be looking to provide them with certain plants of economic importance, so while they're protecting, the riverbanks, planting to protect the riverbanks, they can as well benefit.
Further recognizing the importance of clean water to the social and economic fabric of St. Lucia, and particularly Soufrière, the Department of Forestry has been collaborating with the Soufrière Marine Management Agency to address water quality issues in Soufrière's watershed and bay through strengthening policies, monitoring water quality, and public sensitization. A water quality awareness school and public sensitization fair was hosted and brought together many sector agencies to demonstrate the effects of water quality on their organizations and the benefits of good water quality to students and the general public. The Department of Forestry also made strides toward full public education and sensitization on the importance of our forests and water resources in all economic and social development and food security by hosting a roadshow as part of a year-long campaign to push actions associated with the theme for World Forest Day and World Water Day 2022, sustainable production and consumption, two areas of national development that are closely related. Aiming to directly link rural community development with tourism across St. Lucia, the Forcé-Jacques Development Committee officially launched the Forcé-Jacques Soufrière Agro-Tourism Park. The park will provide an avenue for local and international tourists to experience a high-quality value chain from the soil to the palate. The initiative aims to create employment and encourage sustainable management of natural resources while providing visitors with an authentic cultural and gastronomic experience.
The forest, as we know, we also manage it for critical protection of watersheds, and it's one of our foremost functions, and that we have to continue as well. So in addition to creating the opportunities for livelihoods, we continue to manage for the water resource as well.
The potential impacts of climate change on food security and nutrition depend heavily on the underlying vulnerabilities of food systems. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development envisions a world where food is nutritious and accessible to all, and when natural resources are managed in a way that preserves ecosystem functions to support current and future human needs. We remain focused on meeting the needs of the agri-food sector and its constituents, while also committing to proactive investments in agricultural infrastructure and support systems. Hence, the Agriculture Ministry has initiated a plan to improve the agro-processing industry, inclusive of the newly opened cassava processing plant at Angers-Micode, looking towards creating more outlets for branding and marketing for agro-processors. It will take determination and perseverance in the face of adversity, innovative minds capable of recognizing the value emerging niche agri-food subsectors can bring to the current national agricultural strategy. embracing change and uniting with the pioneers among us to grow an agriculture sector that we can all be proud of as St. Lucians.
The agriculture sector is expected to continue growing and expanding in 2023, with significant strides already being made in the production of high-value local products, the adoption of cutting-edge agricultural technologies, and enlarging market options. We recognize the importance of the assistance and engagement of our staff, sector partners, and members of the general public in achieving our mission, so to you we say thank you. As we prepare to build on the Coalition's tenacious victories in 2023, we take this moment to celebrate them, knowing that the setbacks we experienced this year can also serve as opportunities. This has been the Agriculture Ministry's Year End Review. I am Anicia Antoine. Thank you so much for watching.